Hello and greetings, fellow sentient beings of this planet. How are you doing? I am live on TikTok, and as per usual, I am not live on Instagram because it won't work. And that's really concerning because it worked the first couple of times I did it, and it's just not going to play ball again. And I thought I'd sorted it, but I haven't. Oh, hello, KLG, you're on TikTok as well. Oh, this is so exciting. I've actually got my phone sellotaped above my camera on my laptop. So it could well be that it just like drops off and TikTok will then disappear. And there could be a bit of commotion. But I thought I'd try it, and then if sort of it works, then it works and I'll sort out a better solution. And if it doesn't and it's crap, then we'll just forget about it. Now, that's why I'm like going like this. So it's either I'm looking at that one or I'm looking at that one. So if it's a little bit disconcerting, then I'm sorry. Okay, what can I say? Good morning, Linda. How are you doing? Good morning, Lynn, and good morning, KLG on YouTube as well. That's very strange. How are you managing to do that? You must have two things going on there. So I'm just going to check Instagram one more time. I'm obviously doing something horribly wrong and it just doesn't seem to work. Why did it work the first few times that I did it? It's no, not a chance. Oh, that's disappointing. I thought I was going to be like properly multi-platform today, but never mind, never mind. At least I am on YouTube and I'm on TikTok up there above with my phone sellotaped up there. Good morning, Mandy. How are you doing? Right, astrology. Let's do a bit of astrology. We have got something earth-shattering going on astrology. Okay, on astrology, in the skies above. Okay, we have got something that hasn't happened since the 1940s, and before that it was way back in the 1860s, and that is Uranus is entering Gemini. So what will happen there is that Uranus, which is the planet that causes rebellions, uprisings, things to go like completely and utterly haywire. It's like an independent source of joy, adventure, just things being totally different. Okay, think the unusual, and then think it's in Gemini. Gemini is about communications, education, training, learning, writing, travel, even that sort of expansive way of living. Good morning, Namira. How are you doing? And good morning, Gav. How are you? So with Uranus going into Gemini, what you can expect to happen is anything to do with communications is going to feel like radicalized. Okay, expect the unusual, expect unusual communications, expect uprisings and changes. It's like a revolution sort of transit. It's the kind of thing that would happen when something earth-shattering, probably in a good way, that makes a change, doesn't it, happens in the world. So let's think about having a revolution. Get your pitchforks ready and let's go for it. Take to the streets and let's tell people what we want and what we don't want from them. I'm talking government wise here, not each other. That would be very disruptive to each other. But good morning. I haven't got my glasses on. No, Shy Sherlock. Good morning to you, and good morning A3 and Mudiv and Donald on TikTok. So we've got that happening today. That is really, really exciting if you're into astrology, basically just because it hasn't happened for so long. So Uranus in Gemini, radicalizing, causing uprisings to do with communication. On the other side of that, this has the potential to cause like overload, if you like the potential to cause like, like problems with communications, like blackouts, things like that haven't been seen before. Things like, if you think like, when massive IT networks go down and are sort of compromised, and like when Heathrow Airport suddenly went offline because there was sort of something went wrong with their computer system. That's also the type of thing that you could probably expect with Uranus in Gemini. So it's that unusual, it's something happening out the blue, but let's hope that it's in a good way. Okay, But yes, watch out for that. I mean, I would say that if you've got anything like a meeting or anything where communications is key, like me today with this and my phone sellotaped up there doing TikTok, expect something to happen. So I could be expecting the phone to fall off here and the sellotape to give way, but we shall see. Right, tomorrow, a little bit more mundane, I would say. We've got the moon going into Sagittarius, and that is going to square with the north node in Pisces and the south node in Virgo. Now, those are two sort of planets that, two transits, two things happening which clash, if I'm honest. So we've got you could have problems with indecision, and you're looking at potentially thinking, right, how do I do this? Do I do it the old way, the traditional way, or do I do something new? Do I take a new path and approach things differently? Now, my advice for tomorrow with this sort of icky thing going on, this square. Now, we know when we have a square in astrology, it's never a good thing. It causes conflict. Okay. Good morning, Lorraine. How are you doing? Great to see you here. So with that happening tomorrow, I would say, if at all possible, try to put off any major decisions where if you feel like you're not sure, okay, could be that by sort of Wednesday, Thursday, things will be a little bit clearer and the way might feel like more open to you. You might be able to work out what to do better. You know, when you just can't get your head around something, and sometimes you just have to give it a little bit of time and distance. It's like old thing, isn't it? Sleep on it and then decide, because there's going to be that thing going on tomorrow. And, you know, the moon particularly causes problems with our emotions, causes good things as well. But it could well be that decisions are best left. Gavin has said there's a lot of glitches today. Is anybody else experiencing that on YouTube? Just let me know and I'll see if I can do something about it. I might as well just drop Instagram because it's not working. So we'll say goodbye to that window for a start and see if that improves things. Because living here in rural Northumberland, I don't have a particularly good internet connection. I don't have particularly a lot of bandwidth, so we could have problems with multi-platform. But I'm on my phone on TikTok, so that, oh no, that's still on the Wi-Fi, isn't it? So tech skills let me down there. So that could be another reason why. We'll just see how it goes. If it messes up, then we can try to do something about that. So there's lots of glitching. I'm just going to see how it goes for now. We'll see if it settles. Like, I really don't want to pull the TikTok stream because I'm excited about it. So we'll see what happens. Right, okay, we're going to do a collective reading. So I'm going to do a 3-card collective reading. This could enable, if Spirit's trying to get a message to you, ideal way for them to do that. It also gives me a beginning and a middle and an end, so I get to do a full narrative. Gavin could I put my phone on mobile data? Possibly, but I don't know if my mobile signal is good enough. What I should have done, of course, is test this out first, but I didn't. I thought I was being clever. And oh, there's all sorts of things happening on TikTok there. So good morning, Ice Queen. How are you doing? I should have tried it, shouldn't I? I should have tried it, but I didn't. So we shall just have to see what happens, and I'll test it later on. Test it afterwards. That's always like such a bad idea. So collective reading, that could be for you, could be more general, but as I said, it's a great way to get a message to you if necessary. Right, let's do it. Okay, I'm putting cards down here. We've got the Sun, we have got the Lovers, and we've got the 6 of Pentacles reversed. So what do these cards mean? Now, I always read contextually, so I'm looking at how the cards work together, not reading them like as single cards. Okay, so I think what we've got here, we've got an opportunity relationship-wise. We've got the Sun, we've got the Lovers, both major arcana cards. So these are things that cause like a big change, or they can be transformational. So that really fits in with our Uranus thing that's going on today. Transformational changes are your major arcana, and we've got the Sun and we've got the Lovers. Okay, so we've got like a choice that's going to bring happiness, and it could be to do with relationships. It's like the golden sun rays are hitting your relationship areas. All right, now the Lovers is about relationships, but it can also be about choices, because often you've got like a lot of choices when you come to relationships, but it can also be choices that you make about yourself and how you feel about yourself and your emotions. All right, but we've got an opportunity to step into the metaphorical sunshine. So it's like opportunity is going to land for you today. Now, whether that is a relationship, hence the Lovers card, or whether that is simply a choice, hence the Lovers card again. Sorry to be vague, but the tarot can be like that. It's up to you to join the dots and see how these work for you. You've got the opportunity to go far today. That's what this is saying. However, we've also got the Six of Pentacles. Okay, now this is a really interesting card when it's paired with these two, because it's the card that I call the giving and receiving card. And what this means is that you're going to have an opportunity where you can actually, somebody's going to help you or you're going to help them. Okay, now tying it with our choices, relationships in the sun duo here, it's like in order to achieve this, in order to get to this place in the sun with either your relationship or with this choice that you have to make, it looks like you're going to be accepting help or some advice from somebody else. Okay, so you need to watch out for the person or persons or organization that's going to provide that help and assistance to you. Now, with it being Pentacles, that's often a indication of something which is practical, like finances or job or things like that. So that advice could come from somebody that you work with, or could come from somebody that you're connected practically with. Pentacles is like practicality. It can also be somebody you're connected with at home, because it's that security, it's the roof over your head. Right, so there's going to be that exchange of information which is going to help you make the right choice. The right choice is going to lead you to a much better and sunnier place. So that's really interesting. Now, bearing in mind what I already told you about the astrological aspects for tomorrow, tomorrow is not a day for making important decisions if you can help it. So you either need to have a look at that decision today, or at least plan for it today, but I wouldn't go ahead and sort of make you move tomorrow. I would wait until Wednesday, Thursday, and see if that's easier to make. Okay, so good morning, Nathan. How are you this morning? I hope you're okay. On TikTok, look at that, multi-platform. Got Facebook, not Instagram, because it won't sodding work, but it's probably a good idea, because that would use even more bandwidth and would cause even more problems. And I'm getting your messages about the video glitching, so I need to sort out my bandwidth. So if you can just bear with me today. And KLG's back from TikTok. Isn't this mad? Like going from one thing to another, the wonders of modern technology. So if you can bear with me today, if there are glitches, I'm pleased that you can still hear me clearly. Then I'll try to sort that out for YouTube Wednesday. That's when I'm next on. So if you're on TikTok and you haven't seen me before, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10:30 a.m. UK time, where we do live questions, we do a forecast, and we do the 12 double card pickup. Was that the word we decided on, KLG? I can't remember now. Okay, so I'm going to lay down 12 sets of 2 cards now. What you need to do at this point, if you haven't been here before, this is what we do in the morning. Okay, so you're going to choose a number between 1 and 12 and think of any question that you have. Okay, so focus on your question, choose a number between 1 and 12. Now I'm going to put 2 cards down in 12 sets. Okay, and hopefully that will provide source with a channel to give you some answers or insight into the issue that you have, into the question that you have. You can choose one number, but on this channel, we are not tight with the numbers. You can have more than one number. Choose one number, 2 number, 3 numbers. I wouldn't choose all 12, but you actually could, because, right, I often say this, that the tarot, every single card and every single combination, of course, has a valid message for you. Okay, so sometimes it's sometimes it's useful just to listen to everything, and then you sort of pick and choose what resonates with you, because everything's good. Yeah, everything is relevant at some part of your vast myriad of experiences in life. Because I was thinking this the other day, like, life is like a snowflake for everybody. No two lives are identical, and they are formed and changed by every single choice, decision, action, and word that you say. Okay, so you're building that snowflake of life all the time, and you have a life that is unique to you. It's not the same as anybody else's. Even twins with the same DNA have completely different lives, and they end up as completely different personalities with completely different experiences because of the choices they make. It's a bit frightening when you think about it, isn't it? That every choice you make affects your future. But it's true. Also remember that the tarot is a tool to give you insight, okay, and to make you join the dots and think of those answers. Okay, it does not set things in stone. I know some other readers probably think that's wrong, but this is how I see it. Okay, it's about what you'll find is this is what's most likely to happen given your current situation and choices. All right, but you can change your mind and do other things. Okay, so, and Mandy's saying that TikTok is further ahead in the stream and YouTube is lagging a bit behind. That is interesting, isn't it? I've noticed that when I watch YouTube and I've got it on my phone and on the telly, that they often don't run at the same time. So if you're on TikTok, it might be easier for you to migrate across to YouTube and subscribe to me, because it's easier for me to see your questions. And we might end up just going back to YouTube if my problems with the broadband persist. If you want to do that, the channel is at Sky Spirit Creations and you can find me on there. Right, without further ado, let's get into the what did we call it? 12 double card pickup. So here we go. If you're on YouTube, you'll be able to see me laying the cards down. Bear with me. If you're on TikTok, I'll tell you what's going on. So I'm laying down 12 cards here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't forget to choose your number if that's how you're tackling this today. One or more than one number, you can do that too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let me know in the chat how your day is on TikTok. How are you doing? It's nice to see new people here. We're going to go around again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Somebody's asking on TikTok how they have a reading. If you want a private reading, you can go to my website, skyspirit.co.uk, and book one there. If you'd like to ask a question, please feel free to put it. Probably best to go to YouTube and put it in the chat there, but I'll try to catch them on TikTok if I see them. What I tend to do if you're new to the channel is after this, I'll go to questions and we'll do some live questions. So if you've got a question, try to put it into the chat on YouTube, or I'll try to see if I can see them on TikTok. But it's a bit tricky because I'm like this and my phone is sellotaped above my laptop. We're just trying this out to see how it works. If it works well, I'll find a way to do it better. Okay, so have you chosen your number or two numbers, or let's go? Right, I'm going to start with number 3 this morning. So number 3, we've got the High Priestess reversed and we've got the 3 of Cups. Okay, beautiful cards. I love the High Priestess. It's one of my favorite cards in the deck. Okay, and the 3 of Cups is about partying and enjoying yourself. Now, I think what this is saying, because our High Priestess, okay, she's intuitive, but she's deep and she tends to be quiet and within herself. All right, she's introspective. She's not one for putting herself out there. Okay, teaming this card with our 3 of Cups, this is a message to you that you've been inward for too long. Okay, it's saying, okay, it's all right to be introspective. And when we're looking at cards like the Hermit, the Hanged Man, they're all telling you to go in to get out. Okay, this card is telling you to go out to get in. All right, because it's teamed with the 3 of Cups. So we've got a message that's saying, okay, let's get out of ourselves a little bit. You've spent too much time in your head, procrastinating, thinking about things, going over stuff from the past, trying to work out why things are like they are. Sometimes you just need some 3 of Cups energy in your life, and that's about getting out there, meeting people, experiencing life as joy again, because it feels like these 2 cards together, the context between them, the relationship is like you've spent too much time in your own head. You've spent too much time going over things, mulling over things, sort of working out why, living in the past, living in your own. I mean, this is me all over. I'm completely like that. I'm pretty isolated. I'm pretty much in my own head in the house all the time. I need to get out more. You know, you get to that stage where people ask you to do things and you like turn them down because you become so comfortable in your own skin, in your own house, with your little window into the world through technology. Okay. And then you go out and you're like, wow, it's like you ever see the old Wizard of Oz film where Dorothy comes out of the little house that's blown into Oz for the first time, and it's all black and white, and she steps out the door and suddenly it's all technicolor because it's such an old film, it's marvelous. Suddenly it's all technicolor and she's like, wow, look at the world, look how wonderful it is. And that's how you can feel in this situation when you come out of being the high priestess, step out into the world and start living sort of more with other people again, more about going out, more about socializing and connection, okay, rather than just being in. I think social media is fantastic, but it also makes us quite insular, and it's like it's so easy now just to stay in and do our socializing online, but that human contact, obviously we're pack animals and sometimes we need that, or sometimes we think, you know, we should have that, because it becomes quite difficult. I think the more you isolate, the more shy you become, don't you? And the more the more you become unable to go out. Yeah, you get that anxiety going on. This card is saying, let's get you out there. Okay, so that was number 3. So if you've chosen number 3 and it's resonating with you, then that's good. Dougie, I could see. Oh no, it's not Dougie. Sorry, I'm terrible at looking. It's Rouge. I can see your question about how your cleaning business is going to go. I'm just trying to write that down so that I can answer it at the end for you. And I've got a feeling I'm going to miss some of these on TikTok because I just can't see them. I can't see them on YouTube either, but I'll try my best. So that was number 3. You might want to, if you've got a question like that, it might be easier just to choose one of the numbers between 1 and 12 and take that reading, okay? But I will come to you at the end. So we're going to go to, where should we go now? Let's go for number 12. So if you're on YouTube, you'll see me turn the cards over. If you're not, then I will explain what I'm doing. And there we go. Do you know, my cards have got such a sense of humour, such a massive sense of humour. What did I say when I was reading the cards for number 3 there? I was saying that high priestess energy, when it's reversed, is like, it's like not telling you to go in. That would be like the Hanged Man or the Hermit. What do we have here? We have the Hanged Man and the Hermit. And that's my cards like having a laugh this morning. And that's also a synchronicity. And I love synchronicities. Don't you just love it when that happens? So this is like a real tap on the shoulder to say, this is important. So if you've chosen number 12, listen up. These are important cards. And isn't it mad that I just mentioned these 2 exact cards with the same 2 that I, with the explanation before for number 3. So that's mad. Right. We've got the Hermit reversed. We've got the Hanged Man right way up. This card always confuses me because he's like that when he's the right way up and he's like that when he's the wrong way up. So he's like, it's always like makes my brain dislocate a little bit. So these 2 cards together are like, okay, right. For you, if you've chosen number 12, it's time for you to go in, not out, right? You need to start living more in your own intuition, your gut, okay? It's talking about a time when you need, that's not the Hermit. What is going on with me? I've said the Hermit because I was thinking the Hermit. I do apologize. It's not, it's the 5 of Cups reversed. So I'm not as clever as I thought I am, and my cards aren't having a laugh as much as I thought they were. We've got the 5 of Cups reversed and we've got the Hanged Man. I do apologize. Now, these cards, we'll start that explanation again, seeing as I got the cards wrong, my own cards. These cards are talking about something is returning to you, okay? Something that you've lost, something that went away is on its way back, okay? But the Hanged Man is advising you not to chase, right? If this is a person, it feels like they are getting that sort of, you know, when somebody just comes into your head and you're like, maybe I should get in touch, or maybe I should go back to that, or maybe I should rethink about how that went. All right, that's the energy of the Five of Cups reversed that I called the Hermit. He does look quite hermity though, doesn't he? It's a similar illustration, and I don't have my glasses on. That's my excuse. So somebody is thinking about returning. There's that returning sense, because when we look at this card this way, this guy walks away from his cups and he's like, oh my goodness, I've lost on an emotional level, I'm having to leave. Okay, it's about being left or having things leaving you, or about you leaving. All right, when it's up this way, it's like the other way round. It's like something that went away that caused you emotional pain feels like it's on its way back to you. But the Hanged Man is saying, don't be too eager about this. Don't chase. It's like, it's that push me, pull you energy, okay? Something's coming back to you. But if you start pushing, if you jump in, all right, it feels like you might push this situational person away again. So it's like, be cool, all right? Be cool and don't just jump in there, okay? Just hang back, because have you ever noticed, like, and sometimes we do these literal explanations on this channel as well. So have you ever noticed that? I've noticed this in the past. When you push in a relationship, when you chase, the other person withdraws. It's human nature, isn't it? And when you are the person who doesn't answer the messages, who is like more aloof, they're like, hang on a minute, what's going wrong? Hello, can I speak to you? So it's that kind of energy. It's like, you're being told here, it's coming back, but don't chase, don't be too eager, okay? Be aloof. It can be so difficult. I understand it can, but like literally, if you feel like you want to send a message to somebody who you miss, sit on your hands and don't send it. You know, be a bit more clever about that. Like, post something on Instagram showing yourself really happy, showing yourself having your Three of Cups moment when you're out partying, and that puts you in their head, doesn't it? But they're like, you're actually having a good time without me. That's a literal explanation. Always remember with the tarot that it's about you taking the meaning of these cards, joining the dots and making them relate to the snowflake that is your unique life, because these could be relevant to many situations, okay? And any reader that says precisely these are this is probably talking out their ass, okay? So something's coming back, but maintain your dignity and aloofness. So that was number 12. So we're going to go back to the 12 sets of cards here. If you're on YouTube, you'll see this. If you're on TikTok, you will not. If you're on TikTok, go to YouTube at Sky Spirit Creations. And I'm going for number 11. So what do we have? Number 11, we've got the Nine of Wands and we've got the Queen of Cups. So what do these cards mean? Right, the Nine of Wands. This is what I call the Wounded Soldier card. This is somebody who's gone through hell, right? So if you've chosen number 11, my heart goes out to you. You've gone through hell. You've fallen down every hole along the way, yeah? It's like you keep falling down a hole, you keep coming out the hole, you go a bit further down the path, you fall down the same hole, and it can be soul destroying. But that's you. Wounded but soldier. Good morning, Olive. How are you doing? So, Wounded Soldier, and you're on Facebook. Good morning. One of only a very few people on Facebook. So, Wounded Soldier, you've fallen down every hole in the path, okay? But you are resilient, and your resilience and your inner strength is what has kept you sane through these trials and tribulations, okay? It's like that ability to keep strong, to fight, and sometimes you haven't felt like it, but being the soldier, you're like, you will always do that, and you have always done that, okay? It's like it's strong. It's somebody who can protect their family, protect their own sort of protect their own things in life, things that's like, my head went blank there. It always does. I can think of any word throughout the day, put me in front of a camera and I can't think of any words at all. But it's always like that, I think, for everybody, or most people, unless they're really good at this. So, Wounded Soldier, you've been very resilient. However, Remember, I always read the cards contextually. What we've got here is we've got the Queen of Cups, okay? Now, these are beautiful, beautiful cards. This is a fantastic pairing, all right? Because what this is saying is it's time to put your guard down. It's time to let those walls drop a little bit, because we've got a situation with the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is the absolute opposite. She is, well, I'm saying absolute opposite. She is different. She's strong, but she wears her heart on her sleeve. She is emotionally sure of herself, and she is able to weather the storm emotionally by remaining calm and giving more of herself than she actually receives. And that's in a good way. Nobody takes advantage of the Queen of Cups, because she is a queen, and don't forget that. So she's a leader, and she'll put you in her place. But she is emotionally in touch with herself. She is able to nurture, but she's also able to receive love, okay? So what these cards mean together is, yeah, you've had a hard time, all right? You've had to fight, but it's time to stop fighting, and it's time to let your barriers down, because you're being asked to give your heart a chance. You're being asked to, Lulabelle, we're on number 11 here. You're being asked to give your heart a chance here. You're being asked to put your barriers down, perhaps let somebody in, okay? That you might have, in your previous incarnation as the Nine of Wands, you might have discarded them, or you might have been like too scared. You know, we all get scared and jaded, don't we, by all those relationship cock-ups that we've had in the past. So it might be time for you to give love a chance again. All right, that would be the message from these two cards. But remember to be sovereign. All right, so when I'm saying give love a chance again, let your guard down, it doesn't mean to say that you have to just sort of let it happen, or let somebody take advantage, or not get what you want, or compromise too much. Because I think a lot of people, when we sort of haven't had a relationship for a long time and perhaps looking for something, we tend to compromise, and we might allow people to treat us worse than we should. All right, the Queen doesn't do that. The Queen is emotionally in touch, but she's also a queen, and that needs to be you. Yeah, let your guard down. Give love and emotion a chance, but remember not to be taken advantage of, okay? And remember that you're in charge of this. Love those cards, absolutely love those cards. So we are going back here, and I'm choosing, if you're on TikTok, you can't see this, so it must look a bit weird. If you want to go to YouTube, it's at Sky Spirit Creations. Number 10. We have got the Queen. We've got another Queen and another pairing with wands. Love the cards this morning. We've got the Queen of Pentacles reversed, and we've got the Seven of Wands reversed as well. So what do these cards mean? You'll see me swap them over because I've got a bit of a mirror screen thing going on YouTube, which confuses me. So basically what we're seeing here is you're being unsettled, and there's people around you that might be trying to take your crown, so to speak, okay? This is number 10. So if you've chosen number 10, or if this resonates with you, this is like forewarned, it's forearmed. It feels like challenging people. With the Seven of Wands, it's like people around you trying to unseat you, trying to take your position. If this comes out and it's relevant to work, if your question was relevant to work, it could indicate people are working against you because they want to have your position. They want to perhaps make themselves look better to a manager or something like that. That's a literal explanation. Remember that I give you literal explanations, but these cards can fit many situations, right? But it's like being challenged by other people who are trying to, we've got a Queen of Pentacles reversed. So they're trying to take your throne and unseat you, trying to tip this queen out of her throne. Now, with this being Pentacles, the Pentacle Queen is all about stability, security, can be to do with work, can be to do with money. It feels like a challenge coming in that area, a challenge coming at work, or a challenge coming to do with security and money. All right. So what do we do? What's the message from these cards? Because it's all right knowing that there's a challenge going on, but it's like, okay, well, what do you do about that? What's the point of knowing something? Forewarned is forearmed. First suggestion would be to identify any challenges around you, to identify anybody who's not working with you, but is working against you, okay? And then to tactfully eliminate them. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean neutralize their behavior. Okay. Might be that you need a confrontation to occur. Might be that you just need to put something right behind the scenes. Okay. And sometimes that can be very, very satisfying when you do that. All right. And when you do that, we will see the full energy of this card return, which is the Queen of Pentacles, which is somebody who is in charge of their life. Okay. Can be somebody who's working multiple jobs, but you know, it's that kind of energy where you've got your house in order, you've got your work in order, you've got your life in order. All right. Now, does that sound like you? If it doesn't, look for this energy, look for what is working or who is working against you, and then take steps to neutralize that. Okay, take steps to neutralize that. We've got a few new people coming onto TikTok. Hello to you all. If you have a question, try to leave it till the end and I'll be able to pick it up easier then. I have written one down, but it's difficult to look at the two screens and see any questions coming in, but I will try to spend some time answering your questions. So that was number 10. We're going to go now for number 1. I'm choosing cards number 1. If you're just joining, then choose a number between 1 and 12. We've already done 12, 11, 10 and 3. And think of your question and hopefully you'll get some insight from the cards. So number 1, we've got the 8 of Swords. We've got the Moon reversed, like two of my favorite cards for sure. Right. 8 of Swords is all about you've put yourself or allowed somebody else to put you in a prison. And for some reason on TikTok, I just got a hat and moustache. And I don't know how TikTok works, so I don't know why that is. So anyway, you've put yourself in a prison. It's a prison of your own making. All right. Check out this woman's blindfold. Okay. She needs to take that off in order to find her way out of that prison of swords, okay? Because at the moment, she can't see the way forward. She can't see how to do it because that blindfold's there. Now, teaming that with that moon reversed, and what I'm seeing here is that if you've chosen number 1, you are the person that's put yourself in this prison because you're not looking at things clearly. Remember, with the moon, things look different in the moonlight than they do in the sunlight. The sunlight, everything seems a bit clearer, doesn't it? The moon can make us see things a little bit skewed. Yeah, things can look a bit sinister. We can see like shadows that aren't there and things like that. It's a card, when it's in this position, teamed with this one, it's a card of self-delusion, okay? So it's like you're deluding yourself about something, you're lying to yourself about something. You need to take those rose-tinted glasses off. You need to see things as they truly are. What we need you to do is basically walk into the sunlight, all right? And look at things more clearly and look at things more realistically, I think, because you're stuck. It's a card, this 8 of Swords, where, yes, she's in a prison of her own making. What happens when you're in a prison? You can't move forward. You can't do the things that you want to do. You're stagnating. You're stuck in a rut. You can't go where you want to do, see who you want to see, meet who you want to meet. Good morning, Parks. How are you doing? Good morning, Vic and Portia. So we need to take off the rose-tinted glasses. We need to find a way forward out of this prison of your own making, all right? This could be to do with you holding yourself back because you're not being honest with yourself about who you truly are. Yeah, could be that you have decided in life that this is my place. I'm not going to try and do this. I'm just going to accept my lot, all right? That is self-limiting talk, and that is putting yourself in the 8 of Swords prison, all right? And it's also a lie because you're not limited and there will be other things that you can do which you're not acknowledging at the moment. Yeah. So how do these cards relate to you? Think about how they can resonate with you. We're on number 1 here. So if you've chosen number 1, or if this little mini reading is resonating with you, have a look at your life. Where have you put yourself in a prison? Doesn't have to be total, could just be about something. Could be that you're in a relationship and you've told yourself that's all you're worth, yeah, or it'll get better, or yeah, it's not really toxic, I'll just stay here, okay? But the rest of your life could be tickety boo. Identify where that prison is and why you've put yourself in it. So we need our moon reversed moment. Yeah, you need that realization. We need the moon to shine fully, or we need that sunshine energy so you can see clearly. And that's something that you've got to do. It's like, this is a bit of a kick up the ass card as well. It's saying, you know, it's not going to just happen, right? It's not just going to change. You're the one in control here. You're the one in charge, right? So interesting cards if you chose number 1. So where are we going next? We are going to go straight to number 2. What do we have? Oh, we've got the 10 of Swords. We've got the 4 of Wands. These are interesting. Now, whenever we see the 10 of Swords, we tend to run screaming, okay? Because it's not the most pleasant card in the deck, okay? But teaming that with the 4 of Wands, which is one of the nicest cards in the deck, we've got a bit of contrast and we've got a bit of a dilemma and we've got a bit of a juxtaposition. That's the word that I'm sort of pulling at my head for there. We've got a juxtaposition going on between wanting a stable home life, wanting a stable relationship potentially, because our 4 of Wands is traditionally associated with marriage and commitment in relationships. It's about being able to move that relationship forward to a new place, to a stabler place. Stabler, is that a word? More stable, stabler, whichever one. A better place, yeah, a place where it feels more committed, more solid. If you take a look at that card, you've got this wonderfully, gleefully happy couple who are sort of sorting out their stuff. They're like going through their harvest. They've got a beautiful house in the distance. They've got it all, okay? This is the couple that you'd look at and go, wow, they've got everything and I have nothing. You know, that bitter feeling. You are wanting to be that person, but this 10 of Swords is saying you are self-sabotaging, yeah? There's something going on where you keep going down the same road, okay? You keep repeating the same pattern. And what is that saying where if you keep doing, what is it? The definition of madness is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. You're self-sabotaging, right? This is the contextual relationship between these two cards. You're not going to get what you truly desire, which is that stability. If it's not that relationship, we don't all want a relationship. You can just feel more stable and sort of in that position yourself, can't you? You can feel like the mistress of your own home and, you know, in your garden or whatever you have, you know, just feeling content. It's the contentment, right? If it's not the relationship, it's the contentment. But you're self-sabotaging. You ain't going to get that until you stop being the man with all these swords sticking in him, okay? It's like, what are you doing that's self-sabotaging? Now, self-sabotage can take many forms, can't it? There's those obvious self-destructive behaviours such as, you know, drinking too much or like, you know, that argument that you keep going back to with somebody where there's nothing that's going to resolve it. But there's so many things that self-sabotage can be. It can be not believing in yourself. It can be just doing the same thing in the same way, expecting something different, yeah? If you want to achieve the 4 of Wands stability, either commitment in a relationship or that feeling of contentment and domestic bliss for yourself, you need to move past your 10 of Swords. And your 10 of Swords is cathartic. It's something that's going to change you, okay? Something that you've probably been going through quite often. And it's, you know, it's that feeling where, oh no, not this again. Yeah. Oh no, not this disaster again. Oh, I've fallen down the same hole again. And it's something that you've done. Yeah. So what you need to do, the message of change from these cards is to change your perspective, to change the way that you do things. To avoid the 10 of Swords, we sometimes have to walk a new path, okay? So look at your life honestly and think honestly, where do I need to change, okay? Where do I need to change in order to achieve the 4 of Wands, the stability, the commitment, the feeling happy, all right? Big changes needed, okay? It's another kick up the butt card saying to you, get it sorted, sort out your shit. So that was number 2. Okay, we're going to go for number 4. Well, this is lovely. Number 4, if you're on YouTube, you'll be able to see these turned over already. We have got the Ace of Cups and the 9 of Swords. So what do these cards mean? Right. You'll see the 9 of Swords and think, well, that's a really bad card. It's about stress and anxiety. But team that with the Ace of Cups, because I'm reading contextually here. We're on Number 4, so Aussie Mel, this applies to you. What we've got is your stress and anxiety time is over. Now, the 9 of Swords, it's really, the illustration literally tells you what's going on here. You see this person is in bed going, because they can't sleep. They're racked with nightmares about their life, or they're so stressed about a particular situation that they're having dreams about it. They're super stressed. Good morning, Lucy. How are you doing? They can't get past it. It's something that's playing on their mind, keeping them awake, haunting their every moment. All right. But the good thing with the 9 of Swords is that it usually means these things have reached a crescendo and come to a head. It usually means that this time of super stress and anxiety is about to end, right? So whatever it is that's really been bugging you, that's about to go. Because what we have just on the horizon is the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is one of the best cards in the deck. It talks about new beginnings. That's why it's so poignant that it's paired with a 9, which is towards the end of the deck, which talks about the end of things, when things end, when cycles end. I'm just reading the chat. You can see if I'm reading the chat because I totally lose my train of thought. When things end, when one door closes, that's the saying that I'm looking for. When one door closes, another door opens, okay? And this opening here, it's one of two things. The Ace of Cups, one of two things. We're going to keep this quite narrow, okay? We've either got a new relationship starting up or a new way of you feeling emotionally, yeah, because it's cups, it's emotions. The Ace of Cups is a super strong energy about new beginnings emotionally, and it's a really, really strong, good morning Naomi, how are you? It's a really, really strong indicator of a new relationship starting up, a new phase in that relationship. So it's a new point of a relationship. It could be a new relationship, could be your new phase in your current relationship, sorry, I should say, but it can also be just a new beginning for you on an emotional level, all right? So the message of these cards is a real comforting one. It's like wave goodbye, we'll chuck this to one side. I won't actually chuck it, because if I do, I'll never be able to find it. But if I could, I would. So it's about chucking aside the 9 of Swords, all right? This time of stress and anxiety is moving away from you now, because this beautiful, beautiful new beginning card, this Ace of Cups, is, yes, Aussie Mel, spreading your wings, yeah, spreading your wings. We've got the dove on here with the spreading wings. It's like spreading your wings into a new relationship or a new emotional state. So super, super nice cards. If you're feeling like everything's getting on top of you, then these should be a real comfort to you. I hope everybody chose number 4 this morning, and I really wish that I'd chosen numbers before I started, but I didn't, because I always forget, because my parents turned up to help me with the garden, bless them, so I was downstairs like letting them in and things like that, and that's what I'll be doing when I've finished this. Right, let's go back over here. We're going to go to number 5. Ooh, number 5. These are really interesting. We've got the 2 of Swords reversed and we've got the 8 of Wands. Right. Somebody's got a decision to make that somebody has been putting off, right? So if you've chosen number 5, it looks like it's make your mind up time, okay? This is a card of stalemate. It's like, we'll have a look at it this way up because it's easier. Look, this woman, another woman with a blindfold on. So we're having plenty of women with blindfolds on this morning. But basically, she has put that blindfold on. She's holding 2 swords. They're 2 choices, right? They're 2 ways to go. And she doesn't know which way to go. Now, when we turn this card upside down, what we have got is a stalemate, a situation of stagnation. That she's come to that point where she's procrastinated or put a decision off for so long that she's now unable to sort of make that decision. It's like really being stuck between a rock and a hard place, but the reversal gives it extra negative strength. So it's like you might be thinking, I don't know which way to go here. I don't know what to do. I'm holding these 2 swords, hopefully not literally, and I'm not quite sure which one to use, which path to take, who to believe, who not to believe, okay? Because swords can be conflict. So we often see this card in this orientation when, say, if somebody's telling you one thing and somebody's telling you another thing and you don't know which person to believe or which person to side with, this could be you, okay? This could be your Two of Swords moment. Now, interestingly, with this card, I'll show you it this way up again. She's got a blindfold on, but above her, she has got the moon. Now, when we see the moon in tarot, think intuition, okay? Think self-deception as well. But this is a new moon, okay? This is just a sliver of a moon, which is about we need to find a way forward. We need to make a new decision, and it's about using your intuition, okay? So if you are that person stuck between a rock and a hard place, it might be time to ask your gut, to use those techniques we've talked about before, how to use your intuition to ask a yes/no question, to use your gut to decide between those two options, because it's time to make your mind up. And I've neglected this card, and the reason I've neglected it is because it's quite straightforward. The Eight of Wands teamed with the Two of Swords reversed is saying, you have to do it now. That's about speed. Look at that card. It's like, some people call it Cupid's arrows. It's about arrows. Can be to do with love. If we were teaming this with cups, it would be to do with the relationships. But because of its position with this card here, it's saying, all right, this is haste. This is speed. This is you being reminded you have to make your mind up now. The time is running out for you to make this decision, or it's coming to a point where not making the decision is going to either mean the options come off the table for you, or that decision's taken out of your hand. So our message is use your intuition, use your gut, make that decision, make your choice, make your mind up time, and do it quickly. But caveat here, don't do it tomorrow because we've got that square aspect going on with the moon, which is squaring up with the south node and the north node, with different, we're squaring up. I'm just checking my notes here. The moon in Sagittarius is squaring with the north node in Pisces and the south node in Virgo. So it's difficult to make decisions tomorrow, and it's not a day to make them, right? Make your mind up time. Do it today. Do it quick. Be single-minded. Take the duality out of it, okay? Can we be single-minded today? If you can, do it today. If you can't, don't do it tomorrow, okay? Wait another day or so before you make your mind up if you haven't done it today. Does that make sense? Just don't do it tomorrow. Right, that was number 5. Let's go for number 6. Number 6. Ooh, these are nice cards. We've got the Sun and we've got the Page of Swords. So what do these cards mean? Right. Basically, pages, when we think about a page, the page of the royal family in tarot is childlike, youthful energy, can be new beginnings, okay? But it's also about going on a quest. Imagine the page like, right, I'm off, I'm going to find the truth. And the swords, the Page of Swords is very much a truth seeker, okay? This is somebody who's starting something fresh, starting something with a positive mindset, and that openness to actually try new things, to take a new path, the openness to go down a new direction, and also to look for the truth, okay? Because the Page of Swords digs for the truth. The Page of Swords would be somebody who goes, right, I'm going to start a new business. I'm going to start a new business. Let's say dog walking, for example. Remember, I'm just giving you literal examples here. Your life is a snowflake. It's unique. Join the dots, how it relates to you if you've chosen number 6. Say, I'm right, Page of Swords, I'm going to start a dog walking business. I know nothing about walking dogs or dogs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to research it. I'm going to learn everything I need to know about dogs and dog walking, and then I'm going to do it. And I believe in myself that I can do it. That's your page energy. Because remember, you know, when children try to do something, they don't go, oh, I can't do that. I'll never be able to do it because I just can't do it. They just learn how to do it if they're given the right learning opportunity. Yeah. Something's going on with TikTok. I've got that little circle going around there. I don't know what that means. I might be offline with them. No idea. Good morning, Bailey. How are you doing? All my TikTok things ended in we have detected inactivity using your content live. Complete the verification. Oh, I think TikTok's about to go offline. If you've joined me on TikTok this morning, then you can come over to YouTube. I'm on YouTube at Sky Spirit Creations. Subscribe to the channel and see me there for the rest of this. If not, I'll try to sort that out tomorrow because it looks like I need to do something else with TikTok in order to go for longer. So thank you for joining me from TikTok. Come over to YouTube and subscribe to the channel. So back to the cards that I've got in my hand. Remember, children, don't oh, hang on, I've just got to do something. I might be able to sort this out. Unable to verify. Please try again. Oh, hang on. Just if you're on YouTube, you'll see me doing a weird thing there. Oh, I think I might have sorted it. Ah, it says I have. I might be back on TikTok, but still come to YouTube and subscribe to the channel. Right, so remember the childlike energy. Fearless, that's the word I'm looking for. The Page of Swords is fearless. Good morning, Brittany. How are you doing? In fact, it might not be morning where you are, but greetings, Brittany. So, fearless, knowledge seeker, research, because that way lies the sun. Remember, when you see the sun, you're heading for that sunnier climes, okay? Can be literal. It can be, you could see these cards if like you were like, okay, well, I'm going to go and work abroad. I'm going to pick up my sword as the page. I'm going to be fearless. I'm going to start a new life. I'm going to go and do this. I'm going to go to some explanation of these two cards. It could also mean you just need to do the research, learn new things, be fearless about taking a new direction, pick up your sword as the page and move forward, because you are literally moving into the sunshine, moving away from the darkness into the sunshine. What we could have done with is you moving away from the moon into the sun. That would have worked very nicely. Okay, because that's what this is about. Now, the sun sort of echoes that energy because we've got the child in the nudie-doo on the horse, okay? And that's signifying this child is confident. He doesn't care that he's riding the horse nudie-doo. He's like, I'm going to gallop off into the sunset and nobody's going to stop me. And that's the energy of the Page of Swords as well. So it's like, be brave and start something new and head into the sun because it's very warm and it's very nice and you're going to get what you want, okay? So, oh, Brittany, it's 5:30 a.m. where you are. That's awful. I'm so sorry that you're awake. Right. Where are we going to now? If you're on YouTube, you'll see me choose the cards. If you're on TikTok, I'll just tell you. Oh, we've got another page. We've got a Page of Pentacles and we've got the Six of Wands reversed. So what are we looking at here? These two cards together, they're a bit of a tricky combination, if I'm honest, because it feels like there's a problem going to happen. It feels like you might be involved in a battle for something or a trying to achieve something. And it feels like you're banging your head against a brick wall in some respect and you're not getting what you want. That's your Six of Wands energy. It's like you have a look at the illustration. This guy rides into battle and he's returning from battle and he's got this fabulous wreath on the end of his stick, okay, his wand, because what we're looking at is somebody who has won the battle and they've been, some wonderful, like, lovely maiden has tossed a wreath onto their staff as they pass because they've won, yeah? They're riding home victorious. Now, turn this card upside down and it's pretty much one of the cards that when you reverse it, it's like the other way around. It's like not winning at something. Teaming this with the Page of Pentacles, however, remember pages can be new beginnings. So when we look at this duo, what this means is you might feel like you're banging your head against a brick wall and that you haven't actually achieved something or you've lost a battle, right? But it's like one of those times where this wasn't for you. The path was not for you. The battle was not to be won. Sometimes it's like better not to get what you wanted, isn't it? Sometimes we want things that aren't good for us or that aren't good for us in the long run, yeah? So it's like the message is, don't worry about it. Let it go, all right? Because what's coming is going to be much better. It's something new. Page of Pentacles is often to do with work. Good morning, Macaulay Hopwood. How are you doing? Thank you for joining me on TikTok. So let this thing go. Whatever it is that you feel that you wanted but you didn't get. Whatever it is you didn't get your way, you didn't win something, you didn't win the battle, you feel defeated. put it to one side and move on, okay? Because your Page of Pentacles energy is just moving into your sphere of influence, which means that it's like, okay, you're just about to get a new start at something, potentially to do with work and career, but it is something new. Could be to do with money as well, with it being Pentacles. It could be something practical. You might be starting a practical project, like, like you might have, okay, another literal example of these cards. Remember, this is just a literal example. It could be that, right? You were trying to build a greenhouse in your garden, which fell to pieces and was absolutely rubbish, and you couldn't get it to work. Because you got it on a Facebook sales group for nothing, right? You went to this person's house, you dismantled it, you brought it home, loads of it's missing, you tried to put it up, it fell to bits, okay? So you feel like you haven't achieved that, you've lost. But what happens is that because that happened, you decide to tackle growing your seeds in a different way. And then this actually works out for you. Now, this is practical and earthy, because Pentacles, if it's not money and work, it's often to do with the practical, earthy things in life. So without that greenhouse, you then decide that you're going to actually germinate and grow your seeds on your windowsills. They grow far better, and then you put them out as older plants. And it's sort of, that's a new beginning, and you start to think about new ways of doing things. So that went a little bit haywire, didn't it? That was a really strange and obscure example. But remember, you have a unique life. So there could be, in fact, I'm sure there's countless ways of interpreting these cards and how they fit with you. And I'm so sorry if this is glitchy on YouTube. I will try to sort out my bandwidth in some way that I'm not quite sure how to do. And Chris Nat, yes, I believe spells and curses are real. I'm a practicing witch as well as a tarot reader. So let it go, whatever it was. You've got a new beginning waiting for you. So back to my sets of 12 cards here. We've now done all of them apart from number 7 and number 8. So these two sets could be quite important. So if you've got a question in your head now, choose number 7 or number 8 if you've just joined us, and let's hope you get the answer or the insight that you're looking for. We'll go for number 8. What do we have? Okay, we've got the Knight of Swords, and we have got the Page of Wands reversed. Interesting, right? We've got two conflicting cards here, really. We've got the Page of Swords who wants to rush in. So we've got the Knight of Swords who wants to rush in. We've got the Page of Swords reversed, which is telling you to not be so hasty, okay? So you might have a tendency at the moment not to check the details, just to be that single-minded, right, I'm going for this. This is where I'm going. I am getting on my horse, picking up my sword, galloping gleefully towards the final destination. I'm just going to go where I want to go. Good morning, Agnesh. How are you doing? I'm just going to write down what you've asked for there, because I'm struggling to keep up with questions today. And if you could try to put them in at the end, because I will see them, but I have picked up that one as it's gone past. So hopefully we'll be able to get to that at the end. So we've got a conflict going in. You have a tendency to rush into something, but this Page of Wands reversed is saying, hold your horses, okay? Put the brakes on a little bit, because your energy is all over the place. It's like you're trying to achieve something too quickly without looking at the details. You're like, when you, for example, you decide on a path, you decide to start a new business or to do something new, and you just go hell for leather because your enthusiasm just carries you through. That's your Knight of Swords, okay? So enthusiastic, but really not taking much notice of what's going on around him, all right? He's just galloping straight forward, trying to get where he's going. He's like single-minded. I'm going to get there, sod everybody else. I'm just getting on my horse and going, okay? Then we've got that Page of Wands going, no, get off the horse, because your horse has lost a shoe, or your horse needs to have some water before it continues to gallop. Oh, wait a minute, you've just galloped past something really important, okay? So what these two cards, the message from these cards, if you've chosen number 8, is that you're going about something too hastily. You need to get off your metaphorical horse and check where you're going, okay? Read the room a bit better. Take note of what's going on. Be that page of wands reversed energy a little bit, all right? Don't get stuck in it. Don't get so tied up in the detail that you don't move forward, because it's lovely to have that Knight of Swords energy. Sometimes it carries us forward because we're so into something or so enthusiastic, all right? So don't get stuck in the procrastination that that page can bring when it's reversed. Try to balance the two. Some things are all about balance, aren't they? In fact, so many things are all about balance and compromise between two polar opposites. You're being asked to balance energy with forethought, okay? If you can hear that, that's my dogs barking in the background, because that's what they tend to do, because they can hear me talking upstairs. They assume that I'm talking to somebody, so they want to join in. Right, interesting cards. And I must stop saying interesting cards because it's such a cliche. I say it all the time. I'm trying to think of a new way of saying interesting cards. Fascinating cards, or something like that. Right, we're going to go for the last set today, and then we'll go to some questions. We've got the Lovers card again, and we've got the King of Wands. Right, what do these cards mean? You're being asked with these two cards, okay, all right, there's two, I'm going to give you two explanations here, and if you think that's me being vague, it's because the tarot can be vague, okay? It's like when you're doing a short reading and you're doing it generically, it's not possible to be direct unless you're using a lot of clairvoyance or remote viewing somebody, okay? Now imagine, like, if I'm doing this for several people, it's generic, okay? So you have to join the dots yourself. And because it's like that, I'll often give you two explanations, because there'll be multiple explanations for particular cards or pairings of cards. So I'm trying to maintain my integrity as a reader by giving you those possibilities. I'm not trying to be vague, okay? The tarot is nuanced in so many ways, right? So without further ado, let me stop waffling and talk about the cards themselves. Number one explanation. If you're, we might go for more explanations than two, in fact, because these are interesting cards. Don't say that. Fabulous cards. These are poignant cards, right? The Lovers. Clearly that can be about relationships. The King of Wands, clearly that can be a person, okay? He's wands of fire. We've got a Sagittarius, we've got a Leo, we've got an Aries. These are the fire signs. So if you are looking for a relationship, it could be that your king is going to materialize right now. It could be that your fire sign masculine energy, I'm not going to say man, because it can be, when we look at the tarot, kings can be men or women, any gender. Queens can be men or women or any gender. Yeah, it's that masculine element of somebody. So your King of Wands person could be just on the horizon, because that Lovers clearly can be a relationship, and that's the very literal sound of the literal explanation that I'm reading the chat, and I'm saying sound because I've just read sound in the chat, so I'm saying that because it's just not right. I've got to do it properly. So you could be about to embark on a relationship with a fire sign, okay? That would be a literal explanation of these cards. However, we've also got relationship choices, because the Lovers, it refers to choices as well. And I think that's because when these cards were created, it's the Rider-Waite, well, it's actually the Universal Golden Tarot that I'm using, but they're based on the Rider-Waite deck. This card was different, but this is about choices. And in relationships, we often have choices, don't we? And we have to choose sometimes between one or two people. Yeah. Usually, if we're monogamous, it's a choice, and we make that choice and we stick with one person, but it's a choice that has to be made sometimes. So it can refer to choices which affect you emotionally. Yeah. Good morning, Tracy. How are you doing? So it could be that there's a choice that you need to be stronger and lead in. So that would be your king coming up there. King of Wands is a direction of energy. Yeah. So it could be that there's a choice you need to make and you need to put your king crown on and be in charge. You need to lead on it. Yeah. So that's our second explanation. I'm getting tongue tied now, of these two cards. So we've either got a king on the horizon, if it's a relationship. If your question was about love, that could be what we're looking at here. Or we're looking at a choice where you need to be the king. You need to be in charge. You need to be the one who says, this is what's happening here. And you're like firm and you make your decision. Good morning, Lynn. How are you doing? So we've got two possible explanations there. Did I think there was a third? I think we'll stick with two for these two. So we'll leave it at that for those cards. And I'm going to move on. What time is it? 11:41 in the UK. Fabulous. Right, we're going to move on to some questions. Now, before I do that, I'm going to give the cards a good shuffle. Of course I am, because we have to shuffle properly. So just bear with me and we'll get this shuffling done. So if you're joining me on TikTok for the first time, then you might want to come across to YouTube. I'm at Sky Spirit Creations if you'd like to. If you would like, sorry, I get so sidetracked by reading messages and like I can't read, think and speak at the same time. Right, I'm just shuffling, okay? So, or if you're on YouTube and you're on TikTok as well, then do feel free to go across and subscribe to me. Sorry, follow me. It's a different word, isn't it, on TikTok? On TikTok. I apologize for any glitches on YouTube this morning. It's the first time that I've actually streamed on 3 platforms, because we're on Facebook, YouTube, and then I've got my phone on TikTok sellotaped above my laptop, because that's how professional I am. So I think what we've got is a problem with the bandwidth, which I'm going to try and sort. And I think it was Gav that said that perhaps I could use my phone's data to do TikTok. I'll have to test it. Of course I should have tested this before I went live. Of course I should have done, but I didn't, because it was a spontaneous decision and I thought it would be fun. I didn't stop to think that perhaps the bandwidth wouldn't be able to cope with it. Okay, I'm moving to, is it Rouge or Roge's question? How is, I've written it down and I can't, how is your cleaning business going to go? I can't read my own writing because I've just scribbled it down. And Mandy, yes, I think mods might be needed on TikTok, but I don't know if you can have them. Can you have them? Right. So, how is your cleaning business going to go? Right, okay, so you've got limiting beliefs. We've got the 8 of Swords, Rouge, you've got limiting beliefs, you're on TikTok, and there could be a need for some more training for yourself or somebody else, or there could be knowledge that you need to pick up, okay? But it feels like your biggest barrier is your limiting beliefs. You don't believe in yourself enough, okay? You're not putting yourself forward. Perhaps you need to learn new skills, or perhaps there's something that you can add to the cleaning business, which is something new, you know, like a side thing that you can add to it, a service which runs alongside it, which is the same. So I don't know, like if you're doing office cleaning, you could also do domestic cleaning, or vice versa. Or perhaps you need to take somebody else on, or perhaps you need to learn like a particular specialized way of cleaning, that sort of thing. So think about that. Think about what new can be learned, what else you could do alongside what you're currently doing, and drop your self-limiting beliefs. But the third card that I pulled for you is the King of Wands. So this is a real clear indication that with you in charge and making firm decisions, okay, you've got to, I feel like you need to learn to be more authoritative. You need to learn to put your crown on, but it's a strong indication that your business is going to go really well. But drop your self-limiting beliefs. Perhaps consider either upskilling what you do, taking somebody else on and training them, or branching out and adding a new service that runs like sort of complements put your crown on, be in charge, and I see it going really well for you. I love it when I get positive cards like that, because sometimes people ask a question and I'm always going to be honest. Thank you, Mandy, for that. I'm always going to be honest when I pull cards, and sometimes it's difficult to, you know, to give a negative message, but I always will. But I try to do it in the best possible way, because in every negative situation, or in the majority of them, I won't say every, that's a bit sort of presumptuous of me, isn't it? But in most negative situations, there's a lesson to be learned, or there's a positive that can come out of it. So I also had a general card required by Agnesh. So Agnesh, if you're still with me here on TikTok, you are. I think it's Agnesh, isn't it? General card, please. Right, I'm going to do better than that. You're going to get 3. Okay. Right. There's a situation that you have stayed in for too long. This is 7 of Swords reversed. It's talking about you need to strategize a plan to do something, to move away from something. Now, I've also got the Wheel of Fortune here. So it feels like there's a karmic element here. It feels like karma is playing out something, and you need to look at planning how you're going to move forward from this situation, because it feels like you've been stuck somewhere and not sure how to move forward. What we need here is a plan. You need sort of that taking a step back and sitting down, writing things down about how you're going to move things forward, okay? Because that Wheel of Destiny actually comes out reversed. And what that means is that it's not just going to be handed to you. That wheel's not going to turn and just give you sort of whatever you need, yeah? It's you. It's a kick up the butt card. It's like, you're not just going to get it. It's not going to be handed to you. Destiny's not going to play out in your favor here unless you make a plan to move away from something that's holding you back, or that isn't conducive to your higher self, your progress. Because the good news is, Agnesh, I just had to check your name there. I do apologize. Unprofessional again. The good news is that we've got the 3 of Wands coming out as your 3rd card. Now, this is a really positive card about expanding and moving forward. So the really clear message here is, it ain't going to play out. You're not going to get what you want by just waiting for destiny to take it here. We've got karma involved here. It's like saying, right, something's ended, okay? But you need to strategize how you move away from it, okay? It's sort of like clinging onto you. You need to plan and strategize how you're going to move forward, because what you have waiting for you is this expansion. Look at this guy. He's looking over a new horizon. That can indicate travel overseas, but it can also just mean looking at new horizons, taking on new things, and doing sort of trying new things, going to new places. But you have to deal with this situation first. You have to work out a plan how you're going to basically move the Wheel of Destiny yourself. All right, we need to start the engine. You need to move away from it, because you've got this expansion and progress. And I love those cards as well. They're really positive cards. Those are the only hi Mandy on TikTok. Those are the only 2 questions that I've been able to see as TikTok went past there. I've got one from Ishal. Can you please check mine? I can. Your name is Aisha. I love that name. Right, Aisha, I am pulling 3 cards for you. Right, what you've got is a clear message not to dwell on the past, okay? If you're looking for a solution, it's not something that you've already done. If you're harping back to the past, because we've got the Ace of Swords here as well, reversed, it feels like something isn't going to play out for you. Something's not going to start if you keep going back to the past. If you're looking for a new relationship or something like that, it's not somebody that you know already. So if you're talking to somebody that you knew from childhood, it would be like, no, that isn't the way forward, okay? Because that's why your sword of aces, your Ace of Swords is reversed, because we're stuck here, yeah? Because that's the card, that's the 6 of Cups. It's about nostalgia. When it's turned over, when it's upside down, it's like, don't look to the past, right? Don't look back. You need to look forward. It's about new things in order to flip this to being the Ace of Swords this way up, all right? which means that a new start going forward, starting something new. Right, now your third card, last but not least, we've got that Eight of Wands turning up here as well. Now, this talks about, this can be Cupid's arrow, as I think I mentioned before, okay? This could indicate that we're looking at a new relationship that doesn't come from the past, right? Something in the future. It can also mean that things are going to happen really quickly, yeah? So it can bring speed into these two cards when we connect it. So that was upside down. So the message from these cards for you, Aisha, is that you need to stop living in the past or looking to the past for answers or somebody from the past. This isn't your way forward. In order to achieve your Ace of Swords moment, good morning, Tat, how are you? In order to achieve your Ace of Swords, what you need to do is look forward, not back. And this could be to do with a relationship. We could be looking at a Cupid's arrow thing here, which happens quickly. It's like when we see that Eight of Wands, it's about speed, it's about haste. It comes in quickly. It's like an arrow. Or it could be just saying that, like, you need to get it done quickly. You need to stop looking at the past and things are going to change really fast for you. Okay, so I hope that helped you, Aisha, and I just absolutely love that name. Right, okay. We're going to go till 12. So I'm just going to have a quick scoot up YouTube questions here and see if I can spot any. Okay, Brittany, question. I'm having trouble with a co-worker. Years of difficulty. Can you give me some advice? Let's have a look. Okay, we'll give these cards a riffle. In fact, oh no, because I've got my camera for TikTok at a different angle, I thought you might be able to see me actually shuffling on the table. But you can't, because it's not that far down. But I will, again, I'm apologising if you're having glitches and issues with the feed. It's literally because I'm unprofessional and I didn't test it before I did it. So my broadband's just going and fall into bits, but I will try to sort it out as Gav suggested on YouTube. Potentially I can use my phone data tomorrow, we shall see. This is all my fault for living out in the sticks in Northumberland that we refer to as pre-Scotland, because the reason being that when you say to people, when people ask you where you live and you're like, oh, it's like right near the Scottish borders, they're like, oh, is that like the bit between England and Scotland? So I've rechristened it pre-Scotland because we're not really England, we're not really Scotland, we're pre-Scotland. So when you live here, there isn't much in the way of 5G or decent broadband. We've got no fibre or anything like that. So I have issues. Also, trying to be clever and multi-platform stream. I don't think we're ever going to get Instagram online, which is probably not a bad thing. Okay, right, Brittany. Right, these are really clear. First card, Seven of Wands. That's identifying that you are being challenged by somebody, okay? It's like they're trying to get one over on you or make themselves look better because it's at work. It's like that situation, you know, where somebody tries to make themselves look better by making you look worse, yeah? It's like they're challenging your authority. It could be like, you know, making you look daft, saying things to sort of trip you up, sort of getting people on their side, working against you, challenging you. But it's like, this is traditionally a card where it's like, it's about competition. They're competing with you. They could be coming from a place of jealousy, okay? But what we have that teamed with is the Two of Cups reversed. Now this suggests it's about disharmony in the relationship. With it being reversed, it's talking about the fact that this is a massive personality clash between you, and the way to deal with them. I'm just going to pull a clarifier. I've got another card on the table. Oh, this is a brilliant clarifier. Right, the disharmony is like, it's one of those things, that personality clash that you aren't going to sort of be able to solve, and it's like one of those times where diplomacy isn't going to work with this person. They're coming from a position of that perhaps envy, difficulty, challenge. They're just trying to challenge you to take what you have potentially. So what you're being told here is to move away from them. That's the Six of Swords, which talks about, okay, you can see the man in his boat and he's basically going away from troubled water and he goes towards calmer waters. What this means is that in order to, this was the third card that I pulled for you, which that clarifies about, that's about a new beginning and starting something fresh with energy, okay? You need to find a way to distance yourself from them, basically. Is there an opportunity for you to work sort of in a different area, to speak to somebody about, you know, when you would have that situation where you say, look, I just can't work with this person, I can't be with them, it's not productive, we're not getting anywhere because of the clashes, I just don't feel I'm going to be able to sort this out. Is there a way that you can move away from them, either physically or sort of somehow not have to work with them? As you've had years of difficulty, as you stated, perhaps that's not an option. Perhaps the option, wouldn't it be nice if that card meant that they're going to leave, which literally it could do, but it's probably not going to be as simple with that. It feels like you might have to distance yourself somehow from them. I mean, it could be, I'm being a bit vague here, but I'm just trying to sort of explain the options that are sort of popping into my head. Could be that you need to mentally distance yourself from them, in that you sort of, easier said than done, but you like, everything they say just goes over your head because they're irrelevant to you. You just have moved away. But what we do have is that really strong new beginning, and it's like, it's about being strong as well. You see how this staff is being held, this wand is being held. It's about moving forward with new energy. But importantly, it was tied with that moving away card. So I think the cards are saying, yeah, this ain't going to be solved. It's not a diplomatic solution here. It's about distance. It's about being able to distance somehow in order to get that Ace of Wands energy and move forward. So I'm sorry I couldn't give you better news than that, Brittany. But it does feel like you do need that distance from them. Okay, right. I'm just going through. Let's see if I can see anything. Oh, we've got a question from Tat. Tanya is M and I meant to be, and does he love me? M. Oh, okay. Is M and I meant to be, and does he love me? Okay, Tat. I hate questions like this because, you know, it can be so upsetting if it comes out that it isn't and he doesn't. But, like, I'm going to be truthful with you, Tat, and, like, take this as you want to take it. We'll have a look. Do remember that nothing's set in stone, right? This is like tarot. I find, and I've got decades of experience reading them, and I find that what you tend to see is what is happening at this moment and what is likely to happen given the current circumstances. Okay, so we're looking at a moment, a snapshot in time, and it doesn't mean to say that you can't change things. It's like what the current energy is. Now, I believe, and I've said this before if you're on YouTube, so I apologize for repeating myself, that I remember what I believe I was going to say something and I totally distracted myself there. I believe that tarot cards work because there's some kind of telepathy going on. There's some kind of ability and there's some kind of timeless bending of time and space on a quantum level, and that's how they work. And I believe that it will be explained by science in the future how they work. I don't think it's supernatural. I think it's natural. I just think it's something we don't understand. So, and in a way that sort of explains why destiny changes, because everything that we do changes that. Let's get into multiverse theory. Everything that we do changes and creates a new reality, doesn't it? Right, okay, let's go for this Tat. Okay, so it feels to me like in order to, we've got the Ten of Cups here, but it's reversed, okay? So the Ten of Cups is that marriage, it's that committed relationship, it's like that feeling of commitment. And we've got a King of Swords reversed. Now this can be we're looking at somebody who's an air sign, a Libra, a Gemini, and Aquarius, or we're looking at somebody who manifests those personality sort of types. It's that communication, that ability to talk, good talker, somebody who could talk the hind legs off a donkey, but this is reversed. So it's disruptive, okay? This could be somebody who can be quite cutting in their communications, somebody who can make you feel bad with their words, all right? At the moment, this feels like this person, when it's time, when we're looking at the contextual relationship between a reversal of the Ten of Cups and the reversed King of Swords, it could be that it's the commitment aspect which has sort of made them back off. Okay, so it feels like this isn't a question of love, it's about the place that they are in at the moment. Okay, but what we do have here as well is we've got the Seven of Cups reversed. Now this can be a card of dream and fantasy and not living in reality, but because this is reversed, I think this is saying what you need to do is back off from this situation, because at the minute this person needs to change their attitude. They need to grow up a little bit about how they see things. Feels like this commitment phobe. It's commitment phobia rather than a love situation. I don't think they're open to love at the moment. It's not that they don't hold you in high regard. It's like they aren't able to commit to you for some reason. And I think this card is directed at you. It's like saying, okay, you're seeing them through rose-tinted glasses. All right, you need to look at them in a more realistic way, and you need to think more about yourself and what you want from this person, this disruptive person. I have to say, this reversal of the King of Swords. It's a really strong pairing, this, about this cutting communication, somebody who will use words to hurt you. Okay, somebody who's potentially scared of commitment. And he's yeah, you've got sort of your air sign here, so you're saying he's a Libra, you're a Gemini. It's an potentially an air sign. I said it, sorry, but I'm getting tired of all my words here. So it's this disruptive energy. So commitment phobia, take off your rose tinted glasses. Okay, you need to start looking at them with a more balanced and realistic view. It's not about the fact that he doesn't love you. It's not a question of that. All right, I'm going to pull you a clarifier here. It feels like it's not going to happen very soon for you. And I pulled two there, you might have heard. I pulled the Nine of Swords as well, which is about your stress and anxiety. So this situation is bringing too much stress and anxiety with you. You need to be more like the Knight of Pentacles. What you need to do, that's a focused, grounded, that's earth. Okay, Pentacles is earth to your air. You need to be more grounded about this decision, because you're a little bit living in the clouds about it, and it's sort of taking up too much headspace for you. Be more grounded about it. Okay, right, I'm going to do two more questions, and then I'm going to have to go and help my parents with the garden. But you'll be able to catch me on Wednesday morning, 10:30 UK time, if you want to join me on YouTube, because we might not be back on TikTok if I can't sort out the bandwidth. YouTube is at Sky Spirit Creations. And let's have a look. Two more questions. Oh, Ludabelle, when is a good time to buy a new car? Let's have a look. Okay, Tat, you're welcome. I hope that helped. I know these things are really difficult. Right. Right, Lulabelle. This is interesting because we've got the Four of Pentacles, which is about financial stability and security here. But you're being shown being holding on to your money. All right. Now, we've also got the Five of Cups teamed with this card, which would say don't jump into this, right? It's not a good time to buy this new card at the moment. Card. I'm looking at cards and saying card. It's not a good time to buy this card at the moment. What you need to do is hang back, okay? You need to just hold back, because this is a card of loss. This is a card of holding your money tight to you. So now is not the time. However, what I've also got is a Ace of Cups. So it feels like it's talking about the beginning of something. So I'm going to put my tarot reader neck on the block here and say that it's looking like the beginning of next month. So I wouldn't be buying that sort of around now, because it feels like you need to keep your money close to you. Feels like we're going to be looking at the beginning of a month. I'm going to go for the beginning of next month, because what we have here is it teamed with the Empress. Okay, now the Empress is a card which I look at as a summer card. It's an August card, and it's also about somebody who's in charge and who is manifesting and growing and sort of expanding. It's like when you make a purchase, you expand, and hopefully it's positive. Okay, so we don't want this to happen. What we want is this to happen. So I'm going to say you need to wait, okay? You need to wait a few weeks. Sorry about that, Lulabelle, if you were just desperate to get out this afternoon and buy a car. If you're going to anyway, just be careful, yeah? I know you will anyway, but just try and be careful. And also, what was I going to say? And also, and then totally forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, don't sign the deal tomorrow, Lulabelle, if you're going to buy that car anyway, because tomorrow is a really shocking day for decisions, okay? So don't make that decision tomorrow. Right, we're going to go for one more question. Oh, you're going to buy it this week. The cards say you should hold on, or at least you should be really, really sure about what you're doing. Make sure that you're not going to lose out on something, okay? Like, you know, the kind of situation if you were going to have a part exchange or something, make sure you're getting a good price, that sort of thing. Definitely don't do it tomorrow, but carry on looking. I would, honestly, I would. It seems like you need to wait a little bit, I'll be quite honest. Right, what do we have? I'm going to make you a gold pinky ring with diamonds in it, Sky Spirit, because you're a G. Awesome. Thank you very much. And that's Pimp Name 24K. Also, awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, and thank you, Lorraine. And you're going to make an appointment. Yeah, if you want a private reading, it's skyspirit.co.uk, where I do take bookings for private readings. And I'm just looking for one more question here. And I can't see anything, so it could well be that I've either missed everybody's questions or I've answered them all. I probably haven't answered them all. I need to find a better way of finding questions or somehow, because do you know, and I think we might start doing like a couple of live shows where it's just questions, because that might be really helpful. Grand. Okay, I can't see any more questions. Do you think spells and curses were real? And yes, I have looked, I've seen that, haven't I? Happy gardening. Right, I think I've answered everything. If I missed your question, I do massively apologise. It is, as I said, it's really difficult to see things. So have a great day, whatever you're doing. Join me on Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. UK time. Hopefully we'll be back on TikTok and on YouTube. If you're on TikTok and you've joined me new this morning, do follow, and hopefully you'll get a notification when I go live, or come across to YouTube at Sky Spirit Creations. So have a lovely day. It's been fabulous to spend time with you. Lots of love. See you soon.